What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We've got early access to season 5.5, and I thought to myself, what's the first video I should do with this? And really, guys, we're all just kind of hyped to see all of the powers and abilities that Rogue can take from the 40+ heroes within the game. Instead of doing like a Rogue day one guide, want to play with the hero more, I thought let's look at all the cracked abilities that she can take, what she can't take, and kind of how it works, and my thoughts on all of them, with ranking some of them as well. What are the ones that are worth going after, and kind of a nice, neat video that you guys can see all the powers at once. You know, day one, you're ready to go with the new Vanguard. Let's go to jump on in. Now, with this ability, a couple of things to note. You only have one use of it, or even a timer in some cases, right? So when you have, let's say, Psylocke Stealth, you can use it once, and then it's obviously gone, and you'll have to steal another ability. On top of that, you have a little timer that starts as soon as you absorb the ability to use it. So if you, again, take Psylocke Stealth, you can't have it, you know, forever. If you just finish wiping the team, they're coming back for domination. It's probably going to run out by then, which I kind of hope they increase a little bit. I think it goes a little fast in my opinion. But the abilities that they chose for a lot of these heroes are super clutch. I love the ones they picked for the majority of them. And there's only a couple where I would probably have asked for something else, or it just doesn't make sense, or it makes sense, but I wish she could have stolen something from some of these heroes. Again, obviously the Punisher has guns. She's not going to have a gun in her hand. She's stealing hero abilities, but we'll get through that as we work through the entire list, guys. So here's all the abilities and my thoughts on them. So with the Vanguards, guys, the passive buff you get is just nice 800 health. You're going to get a bunch of extra health and a good ability, which is definitely one of the better ones. All of the just pure passive boosts are going to be worth it. So if the ability doesn't like scream crazy, at least you get a pretty good boost to go alongside it. And we start with the Hulk. Now, remember, this has a pretty long cooldown, so you're going to want to be selective on who you use this on. And with the Hulk, I don't think it's that crazy of an ability to grab. I don't think you're going to prioritize this compared to some of the other ones out there. His Gamma Burst, his Gamma Clap ability is the one that Rogue steals. So, you know, not the worst. Going to be a very quick one-time use. And so, you know, in a couple niche scenarios, maybe you're going to use it, but not the best. Next up, guys, we have Doctor Strange and his shield. Now, obviously, this is going to be one of the better abilities. You do get the shield at its maximum health, and this will be clutch in a lot of different scenarios. Definitely one you're going to prioritize. Keep in mind, you can only, you know, summon the shield one time. You can't put it in and take it away, whatever. And on top of that, it has a duration as well. So it's not just the health you're going up against. It's going to be that little bar that you see in the bottom right. When that expires, the shield is going to go. Either way, still a clutch ability, one that I'm going to be targeting myself, but that is what she takes from Doctor Strange. Now, Captain America was one of the few that I kind of wanted her to take something. Now, a lot of these, I understand the rhyme and reason why she doesn't take an ability from them. You know, you got the super serum, totally get it. A lot of these are going to have like lore reasons behind it. I just kind of wish she got his sprint. I think that would be such a sick thing to steal, but Captain America is a big old nothing burger from Rogue. Next up, we go to Groot, and we saw this in the trailer, but Groot's Ironwood Wall is what she'll be grabbing from him. Now, keep in mind, this is one of the first of a couple abilities that you're going to think it's insane, but it kind of levels out when you realize she doesn't get access to a lot of the passives, right? And we'll get to that later. So you're not going to get the huge benefits from the Ironwood Wall, but you do get, obviously, it being the giant wall to protect your team or to use for different reasons. Moving on, we go to the symbiote in Venom, and good luck trying to catch, you know, Venom. I guess if he's like diving on your team, it's going to be another pin down, which is pretty cool. And all the stuff with this ability, like, you know, can everybody, you know, gang up on the person getting their power stolen? I'm going to have that in the separate Rogue guide. But from Venom, Cellular Corrosion, his slow ability, is the one that she'll take from him. Definitely, again, not one that's going to be crazy. It's not the worst. Definitely can be used in some scenarios. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she could have gotten his swing or something, or the over shield. Obviously, they looked at some of these and they're like, okay, that would be way too broken. So they picked certain ones here. Venom, I think, is a good example of that. Mr. Magneto in the love triangle. A lot of things she could have taken from him, but it is going to be his Iron Bulwark, the shield that he can put on himself. So she can't give a shield to an ally. This will be the shield for herself, which I do think is going to be one of those that is definitely not bad, especially in some scenarios. Definitely going to depend on the map for some of these when you use them, but anything with the shield, it's going to be good. Magneto's going to be giving the bubble to Rogue. God of Thunder, we've got Thor, and we saw this one in the trailer too. This is actually one of the better ones in my opinion, especially in a lot of different scenarios. Is Awakening Ruin. Going into Awakening mode is going to be really good as Rogue because you're also stealing buffs with these. And again, I'll go through all that in the Rogue guide. But just as an example, from duelists, she's taking a damage up, and then I believe she inflicts damage down on them. So getting that awakening and just throwing down the lightning is pretty crazy. So I definitely think this is one of the better ones. Next up is Peni Parker, and to no surprise, Peni is a machine, so Rogue will not be taking any abilities from Peni Parker. Moving on, we go to the Thing, and she'll be stealing Ben Grimm's Embattled Leap, but just the damage reduction on herself, right? I didn't get to test if it's going to be there for your allies as well. That's a new part of the ability. I would assume so, right? Because that's in the ability's given name. That's how a lot of these work. Either way, though, this is obviously a very good one. You're just stealing damage reduction for yourself, and it's going to allow you to probably out-brawl the Thing in a lot of different matchups. And then we end on the last two Vanguards. Angela is going to be a nothing burger from Rogue. Again, kind of bummed on this one because, you know, Angela, she has powers, right? Kind of. I mean, I guess not, right? So maybe she could fly, but Rogue can already fly. She has weapons for the other things. I think that's kind of how they ruled a lot of these, and so Angela will be giving Rogue no powers. And then we end on Rogue v Rogue. I don't know why I included this. Obviously, nothing. All right, next up we go to Duelists, and pretty cool about this, you'll be getting a damage up just as the passive when they're a Duelist character, but it looks like you'll be applying a damage down as well. I don't know if all the roles have something you apply to them. I just noticed that with the damage up and damage down symbols. But yeah, pretty cool. We start off with Daredevil, the newest hero outside of Gambit and Rogue, and this is a great one, Sonic Pursuit. Now, what's cool is she's gaining that blindness, right, whenever she does take the ability. But this is going to give damage reduction, and it's going to help a ton when trying to close in on a target. You get a blind to increase damage. Very good one, I think, in my opinion, to not only punish a Daredevil that could be diving your team, but also in hectic, you know, points or trying to go after a strategist, whatever it might be, you get a little Daredevil in Rogue. Now with Blade, you're going to get his Bloodline Awakening. Obviously, this ability is much better with Blade, but you do get a lifesteal, and you're also going to be doing attacks a little bit faster, I believe. The health reduction, I'm unsure. I wasn't able to test if that's going to be included. I'm sure it is. I think it takes everything from the ability. But that just got nerfed down a little bit, or buffed, I guess, either way you look at it. So not the craziest, but I do think it's going to be nice in some situations. Next up, we go to Phoenix, and you'll be taking the Telekinesis Burst, and this is going to be a quick stun that you can utilize, you know, obviously from a range. You need sparks to really get this thing igniting and going, but still, you know, not awful. It has a slow, I believe, built into it as well. Not one you're gonna, you know, go for, but you can utilize it in a couple situations. Next up, we go to Human Torch, and this one I was so confused when I first took the ability, but you get access to his Pyro Prison, but you can't throw the fireballs and connect them. You just make a quick kind of triangle-ish shape that is going to automatically work as Human Torch, his ability does, right? So I think this one's actually really good. If you're able to get Torch, if he's down low enough, you know, throw it on the point on domination. Going to be something I don't think people expect if they don't have a Torch on your team. Don't know how many times, you know, Torch is going to be, you know, right in your face that you can utilize this, but if you can, it's going to be sick. Mr. Fantastic is nothing. You can't do anything with Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, maybe they could have done the stretching arms. I think it was a model issue, probably. Would have been a headache. So that's why, or something with the lore. But either way, Mr. Fantastic is not going to be one that you can take anything from. And we got Iron Fist next up. We saw this in the trailer as well. You're going to get the Harmony Recovery, so you'll be able to meditate to get your health back up, and you can get Overshield. This one's great in a couple of reasons, right? Like if you're trying to 1v1, or if your healers aren't there and you can try to escape. I think this is one of the better ones in some situations, especially if an Iron Fist, who is a Vanguard Shredder, is trying to get you, and then, you know, maybe you can get the best and kind of top off the health if you do win the matchup. So this one definitely pretty sick. We move on to her fellow X-Men in Logan, Wolverine, and you will be taking Undying Animal, which is a 40% damage reduction. That is absolutely crazy. Obviously one of the best ones you can take, especially if Wolverine is trying to 1v1 you as a Vanguard. You cut the damage by 40%. It's gonna be pretty damn good. So this is towards the top of the list. Psylocke, we saw it in the trailer. Sidekick Stealth. I think this is a cool one, but I also don't know how practical it's going to be. You have 2 seconds of stealth. There's a timer on it, so it's going to be very niche when you can use it. But it is going to be frustrating if you're fighting a rogue and all of a sudden she's gone. So I think there'll be some use for it. I don't think it's anything too crazy, but you can set up like an ultimate maybe. Now, Namor, King of the Sea, is going to give his Aquatic Dominion. I don't think I've ever called it that. His turrets, you're going to be able to take one of those turrets and have it work For you, obviously, this is one that I would put higher on the list. You know, never bad to grab a turret, throw it somewhere up high, and then you have extra DPS coming in for Rogue. And this is one that I think is worth targeting in a good amount of scenarios. Next up, we got Star-Lord, and this is going to be nothing. You can't take anything from Star-Lord. All of his abilities, right? His main abilities and rivals are weapons. And that goes the same for Winter Soldier. Nothing you can do with Winter Soldier either. You don't have the metal arm, thus you're not getting any of those abilities. However, with Scarlet Witch, you are going to take her Dark Shield. Now, I was kind of hoping it was the Mystic Projection. That would be freaking busted, but Dark Seal is fine. You know, I don't think this is going to be anything too crazy, but you can utilize it sometimes, and it just got a buff, so there's that. We move on to Spider-Man, and you'll be taking his amazing combo, and I actually think this is one of the better abilities that just kind of works with Rogue's kit, right? She's already having a lot of this Street Fighter-esque combo, you know, heavy oriented kit, and amazing combo works perfectly into that. So if you're able to pin down Spider-Man, which I think you're going to get the kill if you pin him down as well, is huge. Which, on that note, if you, you know, suck up the power and they die during that, you don't get the power, for those that wonder. We got 2 nothings in a row. We have Mr. Iron Man. Clearly, you're not going to do anything with the suit. And Black Widow, which you also cannot take anything from Black Widow. Obviously, all of her gadgets are nothing that you'll be able to absorb. Now, with Squirrel Girl, you're going to be getting her tail bounce, which I think is not that bad, right? Not going to be crazy useful, but you could get up high. You can already fly, but maybe you could set up a combo with this thing, or I don't know. It's something, right? I don't know. You wouldn't use the nuts or anything, so at least you get a tail bounce. Mr. Moon Knight, you will be getting nothing, which is a bit of a bummer, but also, yeah, you're not going to be throwing down onks or anything. So Moon Knight is also has no abilities to take. Now with Magik, this one is super cool. You'll be taking her stepping discs, but you're only obviously going to be taking the demon. You don't have a sword, so you can't do a whirlwind slash. But you do take her demon, and you get a little bit of those iframes to, dodge attacks and stuff. So I think this is actually one of the better ones for sure. The demon is already slept on, very good ability, and this one's towards the top in my opinion. King of Wakanda, 0. With the Goddess of Death in Hela, you'll be taking her Soul Drainer, which I actually think is a very good ability. And it's going to help you kind of close the gap. I think you can use this one. It's only a one shot, so it's not that great. But in some scenarios, I think this is going to be nice to, guarantee a kill. It has a long cooldown, right? But in some instances, if you catch the Hela or whoever and you happen to have this ability, I think it's going to work nicely with Rogue's kit. Hawkeye, just like his screen appearance in the first Avengers, pretty much nothing. Next up, we go to Storm, who I think might be my favorite. It's close. With Storm, you're not only taking her ability to have speed and the damage lightning, but it's the goddess boost on top of that. So you'll be able to use this auto-hitting lightning for this duration or speed up your team. This is clearly one of the main reasons Storm, I think, is a decent hero in the game, and you're stealing that. That ability usually has a long cooldown too, so I'm all for this one. And then we end on Punisher. Nothing. Now for the last role, we go to Strategist, and the kind of passive buff that you get from Strategist, I believe, is just a constant source of passive healing. So that's definitely going to just be a good reason to steal from Strategist, even if you can't take anything from them. But we start with Gambit. You'll be getting access to his Breaking Spades, in which you can use either or of the abilities, which is a very good damage, right? This is definitely something I think worth taking for a number of situations. Ultron is a machine, so there is nothing to take. Invisible Woman is going to be force physics. We saw this in the trailer. Obviously, the shield would be crazy. Invisibility would be stupid. So you do get her push and pull, which is also arguably her best ability in so many case scenarios. I think this is going to be a super clutch one to take. Again, for a variety of different situations. The skill gap and ceiling on this character is so high, man. I think Rogue is going to be nuts. Taking an invis push pull. They're trying to get on the point. You push them off. You win the game. There's going to be some nut scenarios with this. Now with Jeff, what do you get from the baby land shark? You can dive. Now I wish. No, you get the healing bubble, and it's going to come in a quick little burst of 3 of them. So you're going to get 3 bubbles quickly to heal up. They're going to stay there as long as you don't die. So not bad. You can use it for your team. You can use it for yourself. I think this is actually one of the better ones just for the scenarios you can use it in. That's what you'll take from Satan. With Adam Warlock, again, this is in contention for probably one of the top ones to take in the game. You get Soul Bond, and Soul Bond obviously on a long cooldown. Very broken, crazy ability. that is built into just the clutchness that is Adam, you get to take it. So this will definitely be one of the better ones in a team fight. Now from Luna Snow, you'll be getting Absolute Zero. Just got buff. You can freeze. Obviously great at a range. Can go a lot faster. This is going to be a good one to have. Now Cloak and Dagger are going to give 2 different ones, which I think is pretty neat. Obviously with Cloak, you can get his Terror Cape, which is one of the best parts of the entire kit. Very good. In fact, most of the strategists that you can steal from are absolutely S tier in terms of abilities. And then with Dagger, you get Dagger Storm, her bubble, again, the best part of her kit too. So Cloak and Dagger is a huge priority when you're rogue to steal these 2 abilities. Mantis, next up, you're going to get her Spore Slumber. Again, all these are cracked. You're going to be able to put people to sleep. I thought maybe they would do like an Easter egg of Rogue being the one behind her. Still Mantis, but either way, huge CC that you can gain as Rogue. And then Loki, we already heard from the tease, Regeneration Domain, his crystals. Yet again, the most broken part of his entire kit will be going to Rogue. So, you know, you can tell already, short and sweet. Target the strategist probably a lot of the times to really get the biggest benefit from this with the passive healing on top of it. Kind of a no-brainer. So there you guys go. That's going to be all the abilities that she can steal. If you're looking for a full rogue guide, I'm going to actually take my time and give you guys something pretty sweet with that. So be sure to subscribe down below if you appreciate all the effort of going through all these heroes and getting it all ready for you guys to easily consume and understand so you can jump in with the X-Men on day 1. Again, guys, thanks for hanging out, checking out all the videos lately. Until the next one, guys, happy rivaling.